You ready?
Hold on.
As long as you don't go moving all around.
Okay.
Well, I tend to move.
That's okay. I got you.
Okay. So if you're on a Ustream, you are entering the first section of our training, which is part 2 of the database training that we did a few weeks ago. So if you're on, that's what you're getting on for right now. That'll be from about 6, whatever right now, for a half an hour. We're going to do some skincare training after that on a part 2, and then we're going to get into our weekly opportunity meeting. All right, so for everyone who's here, thank you for taking the time to come. This is part 2 of the database training that we did a few weeks ago. So again, if you were here for part 1, it's going to make a little bit more sense, but it's okay. Either way, hopefully you'll find it useful. Hi, I didn't say hi to everyone. I'm seeing all these faces. All right, so database. What we talked about the first time is what is a database? And a database is basically all your contacts. And it's a list of people that you want to build that you want to reach out to. And you can basically take your age and look back to when you first started meeting people. And people laugh and go, well, really? Well, yeah, really. I've reached out to somebody I lived next door to in Michigan when I was in 4th grade. So really. So you really want to do your database and try and reach out and write down as many people as you can. And obviously, if your spouse is doing this business, that's double the amount of people, and you want to cross-check your list. You have a little advantage over some of us. So you really want to go through that, and you're going to categorize them. So we spent a lot of time at the last database training on categorizing those people. And the reason we categorize is that eventually your goal is to have categories and you know exactly where to fit people so that the script is the same. All right? Because the biggest problem that everyone has in network marketing is, what do I say to that person? What do I say when I get on the phone? What do I say when I get them on the phone? What do I say to get them to a meeting? So the key is to get these categories made. So let's say you pull someone in your database and you go, oh gosh, I haven't talked to that person in 20 years. I went to high school with them. What do I say? Well, eventually you're going to have a lot of people that fall into that I haven't talked to them in 20 years category, right? And so doesn't it make it a lot easier if that script is the same for everybody? Okay. Now you always want to, when you're reaching out to someone you haven't talked to in a long time, you always want to build that relationship back up. Okay, that's really important. You don't ever want to call someone and just go, hey, I want to talk to you about a business opportunity. Guys, if you haven't talked to someone in 20 years, you're going to think you're bonkers. Okay? Now, I know some people do that. I'm not going to knock people in this business who do, but that is not my method. Okay? You want to build a relationship, but you also want to be honest and tell them why you're calling, right? People appreciate honesty. So the first thing you do when you call someone is you always want to ask them, is this a good time to talk? Okay? It's very important that you show people right out of the gate that you value their time. Okay? Because think about you. If you're running around, you're busy, and someone calls you, and they just start talking, you're like, oh, I got to go. I don't have time, So you say, do you have a few minutes? I really want to catch up with you. And if they say yes, great. They've just given you permission. And we talked a lot about permission at the database training last time. You're always seeking permission and open-ended questions so that they will start giving you more permission, right? Do you have time to talk? Yes. There's your first permission. Can I tell you a little bit about this? Yes, there's your second permission. Because what happens is, you guys, the more permission you get with your database, the less likely they're going to cut you off or they're going to say no because they've given you permission. It's very hard to shut someone down once you've given them permission, isn't it? If you ever invite someone into your home that's selling something or on the phone, once you give them permission, you feel kind of weird stopping them. You almost have to let them finish, right? Okay, so you're going to build the database, and I'm going to pick on you, Myra, so come on up. And I'm picking on Myra because we've been database coaching for almost 3 months now, one-on-one. And so she was her and her husband Tom were kind of my guinea pig. And so we created, by working together, we created a box. Doesn't have to be a box, it can be whatever you want. Again, we talked about a lot of this last time. But they created a system, and the idea was to categorize their contacts. So the first thing we did when we got together is we made lists and lists and lists of contacts. Part of their homework was to make those lists before they even came to me, and then we added people as we sat together the first couple times. Then what they did is they created the categories, and we put people into those categories. Okay. The next thing we did is we created scripts for those categories. And we're going to share some of that with you, but we created scripts. The next thing we did is something that each person's going to do a little different. So I'm going to let Myra show you your box and tell you what you did with it.
Well, I have a blue box instead of a black box, but it doesn't matter what color it is. And in the beginning, the front of the box, I have my categories, which, like I have Richmond, because we have friends and family there. Baltimore, Facebook people, friends and family, Virginia Beach, work, old contacts, business. And then in the back, we have our dates, the 1 through 31, so that when we make our calls based on our script, we can take that person and put them into the 1 on 31 for follow-up.
Awesome, thank you. And if you guys want to peek at that afterwards, I'm sure that Myra will be happy. So thank you very much. So that's just a really good example. Again, you can do it however you want to do it, but that's the way that I'm teaching. So you have your categories, you talk to them, you write on the back of your index card what that was about. You know, how did it go? Did you get to the opportunity part? Did you sell them product? Did you agree to a coffee date? Did you agree to follow up? Did you agree to now drop them a kit? See, the last time we did the database, we didn't have skincare out yet. So this adds a whole nother part to your database, right? Because now you've got a list of people you want to drop off skincare sets to try. That's going to be a section too, right? Because you're going to drop it off and then you're going to put it in the date that you're going to pick it back up. Does that make sense to everyone so far? Any questions? Or keep going? Okay, so categories. You guys, there's tons of them. And I shared a bunch of examples of them before, but you've got neighbors. If you're in the military, you're going to write your base name on it. Okay, a lot of people have moved around a lot in Jacksonville. Okay, so you want to put your base names. Workplaces you've been at, workplaces your spouse has been at. If you have kids, like I do, 3 kids that are still in school age, sports teams. Seriously, I sat down and named like 72 sports teams my kids have been on in the last 18 years. That's a lot of contacts, okay? College friends, college roommates, all those things. And of course, the list can go on and on. You also want to add a professional category. And what I mean by professional is your dry cleaner, your physicians, people you use for dog sitting, okay, your hairdresser. I'm kind of trying to jar your memories a little bit by doing this. I'm sure you guys can come up with even more than that. So if there's no questions on that, I was kind of trying to recap what we did in part 1. And then in part 2, I want to kind of role play, can't talk, and give you some scripts of some things you can say to your database, okay? So what I'd like you guys to do, whether you read the first one or not, is, pull someone out of your box, tell me who they are, and we're going to start talking about how to use that person in your database and what to say. So anybody? Anybody can give me any example. I'm up for anything. And I may not have the perfect thing to say, but I can certainly help you. If you don't have a box, just throw up a contact. Donna, do you have one?
Yeah.
Awesome. Talk kind of loud if you can, because we're on
Do you
video.
want the name?
Yep, just give it all to me.
Can she come up?
Why don't you come up? Because we're on video. That'd be awesome. Sorry to put you on the spot, but.
If you could just try to project so everybody can
Yeah.
learn too.
Okay, so who are they?
His name is Whitney Hunter.
Whitney Hunter. Okay, how do you know him?
I know him from dance,
From dance.
English country dance.
Okay, that you all were both in.
Yes.
Okay, how long has it been since you talked to him?
About 3 weeks.
Okay, so this is a recent contact. All right, so it's been 3 weeks. You guys are in a dance class together. Have you talked to him at all about any of this?
No.
Okay, so are you guys following this? Okay, so that is what is on her card. So you have contact information for him or no?
No. I know that he's on Facebook.
Okay, so again, great example. So you have no contact information. So you have a few things you can do. If you know where they live, okay, so if they're in Jacksonville, you can go to whitepages.com. It's my very best friend. And if you know their first name, last name, and the area of town they live in, or a zip code, I promise you 99% of the people, they're going to get their phone number, okay? So whitepages.com, if you know they're on Facebook, you can find them on Facebook and send them an instant message. Never start this conversation with somebody on a status post, okay? So what you don't want to do is go on, it's etiquette for social media. You don't want to go onto somebody's social media page and say, hey, I've really been trying to get in touch with you. I want to talk to you. That's not what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to instant message them, okay? And does everyone know what that means? Yeah. Okay, just a private message. And what you're going to say is, what's his name again? Okay. Hey, Whitney, it's Donna. I haven't seen you in a few weeks. Listen, there's something I really want to talk to you about. Is it okay if I give you a buzz? Can you just pass me over your phone number? Don't tell them what it's about. Don't tell them anything. Your goal is to get them on the phone, Okay, that's your goal. Because if you just throw up LifeVantage, you're done. Okay, who here's thrown up LifeVantage? Yeah, I have too. I'm guilty. Okay, so that's what you want to do. So that's a great example. Thank you. And then when you get them on the phone, you would say, hey, Lee, thank you so much for sending me, again, thank them, and then ask permission. Okay, so thank you so much, Whitney, for giving me your number. I really appreciate that. Is this a good time for you to talk? Yep, great time for you to talk. Great, Whitney. Listen, I just started in a brand new business venture, and I'm really excited about it. And I'd really like to spend a few minutes talking to you about it. Is there any way we can get together for coffee or a quick bite at some point this week? What will work great for you? Okay, and I'm telling you what I would say. All right, and you're going to set that appointment. Great. Coffee Thursday, wonderful. I look forward to seeing you. And by the way, Whitney, before we meet on Thursday, would you do me a huge favor? I'm going to send you a link to a video that I want you to watch. And then when we get together, I'll tell you all about it. That's it. Okay? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Simple, easy, leave them curious, get them excited by the video, and meet with them. Okay? If they don't want to meet and they start going, well, just tell me what it's about. Just tell me what it's about. Watch this video, and if you can't meet, I'll call you back after you watch the video. What's a good time for me to call you back? Set an appointment to watch the video. Donna Deegan signed me up by setting an appointment. Okay? If she wouldn't have set an appointment with me, I don't know what would have happened. Okay, she set the appointment. She followed the proven plan. Okay? Anybody else have an example of somebody? Yes, ma'am. Come on up. Hello. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Julie.
Hi, Julie. I'm Carrie.
This is a person. Her name is Terry Bose.
Okay.
She was recently released from where I work.
Okay, just
But I know, right? No, but she's in Phoenix.
Okay.
And she and I have worked together for years.
Okay.
But now she's gone from my company where I still work.
Okay.
And I want to open that dialogue with her because
Okay.
I had a good connection with her as a fellow employee.
Okay. Where did you guys work together?
We worked for a company called Logistic Care.
Okay. Is that anything to do with healthcare?
It does. We manage non-emergency medical transportation.
Okay, great. And she's in Arizona now.
She's in Arizona.
And when's the last time you talked to her?
Right before she got terminated.
Okay.
So like a week ago.
Okay, great. Okay, so I hope what this is doing is showing you guys, when I coach people to do their database, because by the way, you're all leaders if you're here, because you're wanting to learn, right? You're wanting to grow teams and help other people. So if you're here, what I'm trying to teach you not only is script, you can sit down, thank you so much, is not only script, but how you coach your people, okay? These are the questions you have to ask to help them with their database. So what was her name again?
Terry.
Okay, do you have her contact information?
I do.
You do. Wonderful. So you have phone number, email, all
Yep.
that stuff. Great. So you're going to bypass the whole finding a way to get in touch with them, and you're going to call and say, hey, I have something really exciting to share with you. I know that you've moved to Arizona, and we had this great relationship. And by the way, have you found a job yet? That you want to ask that. So again, that's knowing what's going on with your prospect. Sometimes you do know, right? So she may.
I know that she's going to be taking the summer off because she was given a severance.
Awesome. See, the more what she said, for those of you in the video, she took her contact took the summer off and is receiving a severance. So again, you guys, the more information you have on your contacts, obviously, the easier it's going to be. So great, you're going to enjoy your summer. You've got your severance. Well, listen, I've got a business opportunity, and how fun would it be if you never have to go back to work and you can spend the summer enjoying the summertime, but also maybe building a business? Is that something you'd be interested in? Okay. If she says no, say, well, then you know what? I'm going to send you a link to something I'm doing. I just want you to take a peek at it because I really value your opinion, right? And I'd like to see what you have to say about it. Then you're going to get that out there. If she says, you know what? I would be interested in hearing more. Well, guess what? Because you've led with the business opportunity, boom, you're in a three-way call. You find someone to talk to her. If she's interested and she's been responsive to the fact that she's got the summer to possibly build a business, you're going to get her on a three-way call with your upline. Okay? Anyone else? We'll do one more example. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, it's unique, weird situation. I know
Okay.
I work for this guy. It's in my own field. We bought and sold from each other for years. He was involved with some RV. Weird thing is, he knows all my information. I know his first name. I know his family's last name. I don't really know his last name.
Okay.
So I meet him at the store. It's about the only time I ever see him.
Okay.
We're both busy.
Okay. All right. So you don't have any way to contact him other than when you run into the store?
Call him at the store. That's all I've got right now.
Okay.
Truck and gets from you.
That's perfect. Okay. So, and you can sit down if you want. Thank you. So another great situation, and this one is one that I think if you raise your hand is pretty common. You have somebody that is not necessarily a close friend or really a warm market necessarily, but someone that you run into a lot, someone that's on your mind probably that you want to mention this to, and maybe even someone that's done network marketing before, which would have been me, okay? So here's what I would say. You have to obviously wait till the next time you see them, but if you know other people in their family, you may want to reach out and say, hey Bob, I'm really wanting to get in contact with so-and-so. Do you happen to have their phone number? Okay, so versus waiting to see them again, I would try and find within their circle of influence someone I'm comfortable asking and just saying I really have something I want to talk to them about. Do you have their phone number? Some will give it to you and some will say, no, but most times they'll give it to you. People are pretty free with phone numbers, for better or for worse. So once you get in touch with that person, I would say, listen, you have been on my mind. When there's somebody, you guys, that you're sponsoring up, we call it in this business, when you're reaching for someone that you really think would be great and you're nervous about it because you know they've done network marketing, you know they have experience, or it's just someone, quite honestly, that intimidates you, you always want to reach out and say, hey, listen, you have been on my mind. I'm in a new business venture, and I really respect you in business. Obviously, you were in Mona V. Depending on what it is, you hopefully know what kind of level of success they had, at least somewhat, and say, so I know that that's something that's still around, but I don't know how involved you are, but I would really like to talk to you about this opportunity. We've got some leaders in this company that were heavily involved in that company, and they saw a benefit to not only our product, but our business. Would you be willing to sit down for coffee with me, with someone who's been in the company a while, like Gabe or, whoever, who knows a lot more about this than I do. And that kind of would be how you go about it. And I guess I should share with you guys, I was a really good example of that. I was really interested in the product, and I was still very active in my other business. I really wasn't looking or having any intention of stepping out, but the process was handled properly. Once Donna and I got in contact, she asked me to have coffee. She asked me to talk to Gabe. She showed me the video again, and when we sat down, we talked a lot about the science, but she went right into the business opportunity. And how was my business doing? How was my growth recently? She hit a lot of hot buttons that she didn't know she was hitting, and so you kind of have to play along with how they go, but hopefully that helps you a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to stop as far as taking examples, but hopefully that helps you guys not only with dialogue of what to say, but also how to coach your people to get those categories, because you can see where these categories all start to blow together, So if you're looking at all the people that have done other network marketing, home-based business, you're kind of going to handle them all the same once you get the contact information. And then the more details that you can get about that person, or the more you know, the more it's going to help you. Right? Because if a lot of people will call me and say, hey, I'm trying to get someone with such and such company. They've been involved in it in a while and they're super successful. And my next question is, well, how do you know they're successful? Do they have the car? How do you know that? You assume they're successful, but that's a pretty big assumption, because in my mind, unless somebody's retired off network marketing, has their car in network marketing, or founded a company, guess what? They're not that successful. Okay? Now, they may be making some money, right? They could be making $500 or $1,000 or a couple $1,000s a month, but here's the next question. How long have you been making that same money? How long has that been there? Because in my case, Donna had no idea, but I had been in the business almost 9 years, but the last 2 years of my business were completely flat. Okay? That was okay. I was making a lot of money and I had the car, but they were flat. Timing is everything. So don't ever assume that the timing might not be right for somebody, okay? I think Jill wanted to stop the recording and start again with skincare, so we can go ahead and stop it. And I think it's going to probably blow people's minds on the recording, but okay.